To make the spots on Cuthbert, there's two sizes. You use 4 different yarns, the pinks and the yellow and the orange. The small spot is simple. Magic circle, 6 double crochet, and then fasten off. To fasten off, all you do is go into your top of your first stitch, pull through, and then pull through the loop on your hook. Leave yourself about 4 inches, because you don't need a lot for these spots, maybe even less, so you can sew them on, and then snip it. Now to continue to make the big one, same as the small, but don't cut off, chain 1, that's to get you to the height, and you want to increase, that's what the pattern calls for. Increase in every stitch around. If you had 6 to start, you now have 12. Slip stitch into your first stitch, pull your yarn through the stitch and the loop on the hook, and there you have it, your large spot for Cuthbert. A bit of a tip when you're sewing in the first tail, you know, at the beginning, and you go round and round in the direction it wants to go, close it up, and then thread your needle and go around a few stitches. Now off camera I've just tried to do this and it will not do it, and I think it's because of the yarn I'm using. I'll just show you, I'm using this on my other projects, on cotton, on the chunky yarn I'm using to stop it fraying. I think that's the idea of why it's called fray stop. But on some of the crochet things I'm doing, like this key ring, when it's on the inside, I've been pulling the tail like that, closed, sew it a little ways, cut, and when I cut it a little bit, so it's just got a little short tail on there, it sticks down. Now I've tried this off camera with this little one and it will not do it. It will not stick down, and I think it's the type of yarn that's with the kit. So what I've done, and what I would recommend you do, is do the threading round with your needle. Take your needle, thread your tail, go around a few times, snip it. This is just an option, you don't have to do it. Take the fray stop, pop it on where the end of the yarn is just poking out, and then I use my darning needle, that's what I use it for, and then just spread the glue around. Don't get it onto your stitches because you want to sew, it will make it hard for your needle to go through later on, and that just gives it extra security that you know the middle isn't going to open up. And I do that on a lot of projects. Not for blankets, because that's going to touch somebody's skin or the baby's skin, so I don't do it on there. But things that's enclosed, I do that. To make Cuthbert's bow that goes under his chin, chain 7. This is fiddly, just like the spots. To go backwards and forwards, you need the first row, you need to miss a stitch and put a double crochet, UK terminology, single if you're anywhere else or in US, and then put a double crochet, it's very fiddly, in each chain back to where you started. And this yarn does not help. Chain 1, which it doesn't say that on the pattern. Turn your work. Now the back, if you're new to crochet, back of your work looks different to your front. So that's the first stitch there. You put 1 double crochet in each of the stitches that you've already made. chain 1 again, and that gets you to the height of the stitch. It's not a stitch. When you've got your rectangle, cut off, but give yourself plenty of yarn, because you're going to squish the middle. Now it doesn't tell you how to do that on here, it just shows you the picture so you can work it out how you want to do it, but this is how I did it. You first though do need to fasten off, because you don't want this to come undone. Yarn over, pull through, don't forget you've cut the yarn, there you go, and that is now not going to come open. What I did, thread this smaller tail in first, get the longer one, thread it through your needle, this is only if you want to, and thread along the top of the stitches. I just use the, you see there's 2 loops there, I just go the back one here into the middle, middle-ish, it doesn't have to be perfect. Now I don't need the needle, I'll keep it in, and you want to bunch it up. Should have sewn that in. So at first it's really fiddly, so you're kind of doing that but squeezing it. Let me just, that's it. So just pull it. Maybe there's other ways of doing it, but I found this okay. So you see, little bow shape taking shape, and just do it quite a few times, round and round. See that? Now take your needle, I'll go to the top again, and what I did was, hope this works, does off camera, I've got glue on my needle. Just to secure it, because I did all my small pieces before I did Cuthbert, is I just, whichever end I stopped at, I put the needle through. Oops. So if you have one side that's going to be the prettiest side, and there's one that's going to be the back of, there you go, so ignore that one there, and then I went back through again just to secure, almost at the back. It's very fiddly, and I also don't want to stab myself on camera. Pull it through. Yarn does get knotty sometimes, so take your time at this, don't rush. And this is a lot fluffier yarn than the stuff I normally use. So ignore that tail there. There you go, there's a bow. So leave your long tail, leave it to one side. Don't forget to weave that one in. And there you go, there's Cuthbert's bow. Now, if you're not going to use safety eyes, as I've done, the crochet pattern does not look how it looks on the actual picture. So what I did was, like you've done your spots, your little spots, do your little spot, fasten off, and then you put your white, just like your big spot, and join on. Now I'll show you how I join on. I do a standing double crochet. You make a slip knot, on your hook, find a stitch. A tip, where you finish, go to the other side. And so, I mean, you're not going to really see it on here because it's dark, but on lighter fabrics, lighter yarns, if I joined in the same place, which I used to do because I thought that's how you did it, where you finished, you started, I join somewhere else. Even if it's a stitch or two back or forward, but generally if it's a circle, I will go to the other side. And that's just a personal thing I do. Slip stitch, slip knot on your hook, find a stitch. Now I know you can't see this on here, but I can just see. Hook through, pull through as if you're going to do your double crochet. It's a little bit loose sometimes, so I usually hold the tail of the new colour, yarn over and pull through like you've done before with your double crochet. And it's an increase round. It's an increase round just like your big spots. So 2 double crochet in each of the stitches. Now don't go over the join as well. That is the stitch where you joined in, that is the stitch. It's a little bit tight and fiddly, but don't forget that. How the pattern showed you to do it was the middle was the same, and this is me just giving you an option. So if you want to do what the pattern says, you do it, that's fine. And then it asks you to join the white yarn, doesn't tell you how, and slip stitch. Let me just double check. Yes, yeah, it does. Slip stitch in each double crochet around, so the eye's on the head. So I found a stitch, oh, silly yarn, splits. You see, it doesn't say how to do it, it just says join, slip stitch. Now some people do what I've just done, slip knot on your hook and then attach it like that, or you can just take that out, find a stitch, take your yarn, wrap it around your hook and pull it through. Make sure you get the right tail. I'd leave a little one, not a lot. And then find your next stitch. Like I said, it's hard on here to see. And a slip stitch, pull through. Looks like you're going to make your double crochet, but you're not. And you pull through that loop. And there's the first slip stitch. That's how you surface crochet as well. You can make names, patterns. It's quite good to do. I like doing it. So let me just see if I can see. It's like a stab in the dark. Whoopsie-daisy. This is hard even without doing this on the camera. It's even worse on the camera. Pull through. Oops. Pull through. And you need to do your last one as well. Don't forget to do your last one. But you don't want to pull this yarn through. See, I've split it. Don't pull that through. Hold that down. This is what the eyes look like. You can see the difference in size. I prefer this one. That's the pattern. So can you see what I meant? There's the black on the outside. I don't like that. Doesn't look right for me. You know? Let me just show you on there. Yeah, I like that, which is fine if you like that. I personally didn't like it when I'd done it, so I did that. It's exactly the same as your large spot, but you've just changed your colours, and I use a standing double crochet. I'm going to show you how to do the antennae. I've already done one. Now I won't lie, if you're new to crochet, this is really fiddly. You want a magic circle, pull to close. Now the pattern for all of it says working the round, and that's what I'm going to do. This is really fiddly. One, two. Now if you want to put a stitch marker in, do so, but if you can do your crochet at a quiet time so you can concentrate, it'd be better if you don't, because it's really going to be cramped on here. Now at this point you want to weave the beginning tail in, and close the top of the antennae. Try not to go through to the other side. Once you've done that, you can snip it off. Now, here's the fun part. You want to flip this. So what I've done with that one, I can't remember how I did it with this one. So close my scissors. This is how I've just done it. And just gently peel the antennae. Now my scissors are poking through a little bit, so be really gentle with this. And you just want it facing the other way, because this is the right side. The other way was the wrong side. Just manipulate it a little bit. You want to do a couple of rounds. It says about four more rounds. So this is where I mean if you can do it quiet. I'm going to take my stitch marker out because it's too much for me. The more rounds you do, the easier it is to hold, but because we're not joining, it is hard to remember. So count 6, and like I say, approximately 5 rounds high. When you've done enough rounds as you want it, after the 6th stitch, go into the next stitch, that would have been your first, and then slip stitch. Leave yourself plenty of sewing in tail, yarn over, pull through, and it's tied off. So you can just put that to one side. Put both your antennae with your spots, your eyes, your bow to one side, and we're ready to do the actual Cuthbert. The cheeks are really easy. Magic circle and 6 double crochet. Close up, and unlike starting at the caterpillar's nose, you will join this. So go in the first stitch yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, hold it, bit of a tail so you can sew, pull that through, and that will hold it together. So what you want to do is another one, sew your tails at the back as I've shown before, or however you like to do,